Good evening and welcome to Scotland. Welcome to the Links Golf Cup 2016 from East Lothian, Scotland's Gulf Coast. We're going to be concentrating on the highlights from North Berwick and Gullin number 2 for this year's highlights. Now you can see, the competitors arriving early on the Monday morning here at Gullin 2 and the greenkeepers out in force. The courses and the greens are in terrific condition, especially for this time of year, and it's nice to be prepared. It is a little bit chilly though, as we can see here from David Porter's woolly hat, although you wouldn't know it was too chilly looking down at his legs there. Bravely wearing the shorts here in March up in Scotland, but a nice steady start. Well, it's all about good preparation, good nutrition. And, here we can see Stuart Cohen. He's been at his bag a while. It looks like he's checking he's got everything he needs for 18 holes. A banana, that's good. Sandwich, perhaps. Smoked sausage, beans. Yeah, pretty much everything most of the top golfers take out onto the course with them. And Stuart Cohen, well prepared. We can move down onto the tee though. And, look at this. +4s, but look at where this ball is set up. Stephen Wise, and looks like he might have a little bit of a draw going on. The tee is at least 7 or 8 yards wide between the white markers, but Stephen electing to choose to tee up as far left as he can, and that ball rolling round to the left, and there's the reason why. Just managing to keep it on the fairway though, very nice, and he's out with his son Daniel. And you might see a bit of a resemblance, a fairly strong resemblance when it comes to setup. Yes, that ball is far over as his dad's there. Of all the things you can inherit from your parents, good looks, a business fortune, you name it, a title perhaps, but no, it looks like Daniel has only inherited the tendency to knock the ball left off the tee. Teeing up as far left as he can, and it's all about moving things on from your parents, and yes, Daniel hits it further left into the semi-rough. Perhaps they weren't warmed up enough. Something you can't accuse Ian Annable of not being too warmed up. I think he's hypnotised himself there on the first tee. Others preparing down on the putting green. Here we have Paul Owen, and just going for the short putts to build up the confidence. That's it. 2 feet, make sure you get it in the hole, build up your confidence. That's it. Get used to seeing the ball dropping into the hole and being confident that everything's going to drop. And 3 out of 3 and 1 out of 4. There you go. How's that for a confidence boost? And it's a popular technique. Yes, it's catching on. And here we have even shorter putts. That's it. Just get used to seeing the ball dropping into the hole and straight back out again. And not a lot of confidence down there on the practice putting green. And Ian still going. He definitely has hypnotised. Somebody needs to break him away from that pendulum-like hypnotising warm-up. But on to the first at Gullin. And here we have Jerry Armstrong sitting nicely in the middle of the fairway. Up until he moved, that is, and hit the ball and hooked it. He's made it about halfway up to the green from there. Perhaps he'll be happy with that. And a nice, softer, fluffier lie. Now he's made it to the semi-rough. Out to the second, North Berwick. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a huge beach over to the right-hand side. It looks like Mark Burford has noticed that beach, taken it into account and driven as far left as he possibly can. Yes, making it onto the neighbouring fairway. Perhaps I'm being a bit harsh. The green should be just about here. We surely should be seeing the green soon, somewhere over. And, yes, there it is there. Mark still with a lot of work to do to make it to that green. And, we can move out to Gullin and the 11th and Jonathan Raymond. Never a man to be rushed. He's in the bunker and he wants to get this shot absolutely right. His cue's building up behind him, and there's 4 games waiting on the tee behind him. Come on, Jonathan, you can do it. And in the end, a good strike, floating it up just past the flag. Perhaps not quite worth waiting for. And let's hope Jonathan gets his skates on. Now back to North Berwick and the second, and it is Paul Owen. Now Paul with this putt, and it's Oh dear, he's knocked it about 2 or 3 feet past, and that is bringing back memories, yes. He's hoping to get it closer, but the memories are going round his head from the practice putting green, and he won't be too happy about that. Let's move back to Gullin, and the first, a very lofted club in the hands of Steve Lamb. just at the edge of the green, although you wouldn't believe it. And these greens, yes, fairly pacey, perhaps a little bit quicker than Steve's used to, perhaps a lot bit quicker, and he's just managed to hold the green. Yes, well done, Steve. Well, we can move out now to Gullen and Mark Jones at the 13th in the bunker. I think he's got quite a nice lie. There we can see his ball, and it is sitting up in the sand very nicely. Well, there's a good lie indeed. Although you can't tell with Mark how his ball's lying usually. He keeps his emotions very much in check, never gives much of a reaction whether he's playing well or not, and you can hardly tell whether he's on a good score. Yes, impossible to tell whether he's happy with that bunker shot or not. Yes, almost stone-like expression. Well, back to North Berwick and the first, and here we have Phil Major. Now, this is for a birdie. Not a long hole the first, but it's tricky, and that's a magnificent effort. Well played. Beautiful stuff there from Phil. Fantastic way to start your round here at North Berwick. We're moving back to Gullen, the 13th, Mark Jones. Well, this is where he ended up out the bunker. And he probably wasn't too happy, I think, not making the green from there, but he'll be glad. He's just putting up, getting it on the green. Well, at least temporarily on the green. Is it going to hold? Is it going to hold? The green proving tricky to hold from just 2 yards off the side. And the ball toddling down onto the fringe. Well, I do hope Mark's reaction is a little bit more tempered than the last time. We can move back out to North Berwick, 15th. Jason White just wants to tap that in. And yes, well, another man who it's difficult to tell whether he's enjoying it or not. Yeah, I'm not too sure he's happy with that. Well, speaking of which, I don't think Mark's too happy with how things are going either. I think we best move on back to North Berwick to the 15th and Andrew Robinson. Now, he wasn't sure. It's the 15th, is a par 3. Is it a 6 iron? Is it a 7 iron? Difficult to tell with the wind. And as the ball comes down, it looks like it was perhaps, yes, a wedge or a sand wedge, looking at that. I don't know why he was switching between 6 and 7. Might as well just get the sand wedge out the bag now. Or it might be a full wedge back to the flag. Who can tell? Oh dear, back with Jonathan Raymond. Now, we saw him taking his time over that bunker shot. Have things moved on? Has the pace picked up? It's not really looking like it. Come on, Jonathan. The ball's sitting up nicely. Just get on with it. And, well, Keegan Bradley in the background, wondering why he's taking so long. Now we can move back to Gullen and the first. And it's Phil Major. Now, Phil approach onto the first. It's landing just short, and it's a very nice shot. We can zoom in, have a closer look at that. Phil will be happy with that, although it's a very competitive match this. He's out with his wife Anna, and well, there's always a competition between these two. They're always desperate to win at any point, desperate to outdo each other and scupper each other's chances, to be frank, whenever they can. Yes, Anna moving that ball out the way, and she wins that tournament, making her a major winner. I wonder if that makes Phil a major loser. Well, anyway, moving back to North Berwick, and Jonathan, he's ready to go. Is it worth the wait? Has he got the pace? Has he got the line? Has he managed to keep it on the same course? Well, he doesn't like this hole. He's just decided to move on to the next tee by the looks of it. But we can see what he's got left coming back. Perhaps just, yes, not the easiest looking shot. Yes, it's a percentage game. Sometimes you need to do the sensible thing. And we can see Eddie Crowett, he's done that. He just went for the middle of the green, gave himself a good chance for birdie, and just missing to the right. He got a little bit excited there. But, you know, it's a sensible thing. Hit the middle of the green. If you don't get the birdie putt, you can make sure of the par, unless you're Eddie, and you can make sure of the bogey. Yes, definitely made sure of that bogey. Beautiful 3-putt from 6 feet. Now we're back with Jonathan, and he's decided to just get on with things much quicker. It hasn't really improved his game. It has to be said. Well, I don't know if that was a sensible choice, trying to use the lob wedge from just off this very, very tricky green. I think the way to go is the putter, and his playing partner here, Stephen Wise, he's going with a putter. That's the correct decision. Just see it roll up onto the green. Actually, it looks like the putter might not have been the right decision either. I think the right decision was just to move on to the next tee, as Jonathan tried to do initially. Now, back to the first at North Berwick, and just off the first green, here it looks like Michael Allen he was just a little bit bold with his approach. So just off the edge of the first green. In fact, I'm hearing he was very bold with his approach because he's actually playing the 17th. But he knows how to recover, and that's a nice shot back on. Yes, well played, Michael. Try and go for the right pin the next time, I think. Now back to 16, and Andrew Robinson. Andrew with his approach, bouncing on, and that is beautiful. 2 shots to there, and I can tell you, he got his 5. But there was a lot of putts that did drop. Here we have Ian McDonald on the first at Gullen, and he is happy with that. A nice broad smile. That's what we like to see. Yes, magnificent 7. But there was putts going in all over the place. Back at North Berwick, the 16th, Daniel Wise. He had this, and it goes. Not much of a celebration from Daniel, but he'll be keen to get that score down onto the card. In fact, well, he's not had a good day. He's thinking about throwing his card away. He's trying to get it to just drop out the back pocket so he can forget all about it. 15th, Emil Martinson, and that goes in. Nice little fist pump there. Yes, a bit of a reaction. And Daniel, he's wiggling as much as he can. He's got the wiggle on, and there it goes. He's dropped the card, and he'll be making up his scores later on in the clubhouse. Stephen Wise, this was him on the first green at Gullen number 2. His opening hole for the week, and that putt 2 dropped, and again another little fist pump. It's amazing how many of these competitors are celebrating their bogeys, but that's what we like to see. A putt drops, you want to celebrate. We can move out to Gullen number 13 on course number 2, and this is Shug Crawford, always understated. Never difficult to find on the course, and look at that, a big sweeping fist pump. Yes, he's delighted with his bogey. No wonder he's smiling. That's what we like to see. The putts go in, you want a celebration. This for a double bogey for Dave Parkinson, and look what it means to him. Well, I'm surprised he usually celebrates a bit more. Yes, that's a bit more like it. Arms in the air. Fantastic stuff. Well, paled into comparison for the reaction here of Billy Donaghy here on his very first hole of the week. And I can tell you what's this. And in it goes. And that is the longest putt that Billy Donaghy has ever holed. And he's trying to keep it together. He's trying not to get too excited. The grin has come out, but it's all getting to him. Actually, he's getting very, very emotional about it. And you can't really see from here, but he's crying. Yes, he's so emotional, he's crying. But it's all about celebrations, and you have to celebrate when you make an achievement. We can move out to North Berwick and the 15th, the famous Redan, one of the most famous par 3s in the world of golf. Much copied throughout the world, and Eddie O'Donnell. Look at this for a tee shot. Well, for a moment there I thought it might be threatening a hole-in-one, but even still, as he came up for his birdie putt, a chance to birdie one of the most famous par 3s in the world of golf. It goes in, and Eddie goes wild celebrating. Or perhaps not. Well, with that birdie, it's time to leave the Links Golf Cup 2016, and we'll see you again next year.